Election Commission slams Trinamool charges, says party's memorandum full of insinuations. This as Trinamool and the BJP battle it out over Mamata Banerjee's injury. Centre says it's very worried about Maharashtra. COVID cases in the state rise over 14,000. Chief Minister warns of another lockdown. In Delhi too, cases rise cross the 400 mark. India's GDP growth to be the fastest in the world, says Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It hikes India's GDP estimate to 12.6% in 2022. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. A day after alleging an attack at Nandigram, Mamata Banerjee on Thursday released a video message from a hospital bed. She appealed to everyone to be calm and maintain restraint. Her leg in a cast, Mamata Banerjee spoke about her injuries and said that she would have to resume her campaign for the Bengal election in a wheelchair. But noticeably, she did not refer to her charge that 4 or 5 people had attacked her. Monideepa Banerjee reports.
আমি অনুরোধ করব আমার সকলের কাছে যে সকলে শান্ত থাকুন, সংযত থাকুন, ভালো থাকুন। আর আমি আশা করি 2-3 দিনের মধ্যে আমি আবার নিজের ফিল্ডে ফিরে যেতে পারবো। আমার মিটিং আমি কিছুই নষ্ট করব না, বাট হয়তো আমাকে কিছুদিন হুইল চেয়ারে করতে হবে, সেটা আপনাদের সহযোগিতা চাইব।
A call for calm by Mamata Banerjee to Trinamool workers out on the streets protesting the incident at Nandigram yesterday. She has also promised to be back at work soon. Yesterday she had said at Nandigram that 4 to 5 men had attacked her, that it was a conspiracy or sajish, and that it was an intentional attack. Today, no mention of that. And the BJP claims the Trinamool chief has now toned down her charge because she knows it won't stand scrutiny.
Really been assaulted by someone, of course we would be concerned about it. But you can see the kind of facts that are coming out. Nobody seems to have seen the attackers, and there are all kinds of contrary eyewitness statements coming out.
But the Trinamool is far from backtracking. They have written to the Election Commission accusing the BJP of conspiracy to kill Mamata Banerjee, a brazen attempt on her life. They have said,
hard questions have to be answered, and those responsible for this heinous incident need to be brought to book.
There is more. 12 Trinamool MPs will meet the Election Commission at 12:30 in Delhi tomorrow, demanding a probe into the incident. And one of the things they will try debunk is the theory that the door of the Chief Minister's car accidentally hit some pillars on the road, which slammed the door against her, causing injury.
4-5 people forcibly closed the door, and that's when she got badly hurt.
But the BJP is not letting go of their claim that it was all stage managed. They too have demanded that the Election Commission probe the incident and expose the truth. Mamata Banerjee lying in a hospital bed looking frail, looking pale, is a powerful image in this election season, and both the Trinamool Congress and the BJP know it. As these two rivals fight it out for Bengal, the danger is Election Commission may get caught in the middle of it. With Anirudh Tripathi, Monideepa Banerjee, NDTV.
Meanwhile, late in the evening, doctors of the SSKM hospital released another medical bulletin of the Chief Minister. This is what the doctor said.
The 6-member medical board has re-examined the medical condition of Honorable CM today again. She is responding well to treatment, and improvement of her general well-being is evident. However, still she has some symptoms related to the bony injuries of her left ankle, for which she continues to receive treatment. Her abdominal ultrasonography, X-ray of right forearm and right shoulder, CT scan of thorax were within acceptable limits. Her left knee revealed some degree of degenerative changes on CT scan. The medical board will meet again on 12/3/2021 at 11 a.m. and will decide further course of action.
Meanwhile, the Election Commission has slammed Trinamool memorandum over the Nandigram incident. The Election Commission has said that the TMC memorandum is full of insinuations. The poll panel says that it is incorrect to suggest that Election Commission has taken over law and order. Memorandum tantamounts to undermine fabric of the Constitution. That's what the Election Commission says, going on to add that the memorandum questions the basis of creation and function of the Election Commission. Now, within half an hour of the incident in which Mamata Banerjee was badly injured, the BJP started saying that Mamata Banerjee was faking it. NDTV visited the spot to figure out what may have happened.
A massive crowd around the Chief Minister's vehicle. As she stood on the footboard to acknowledge the crowd before getting into the seat, the crowd suddenly surged around the bonnet.
Mamata Banerjee briefly stood on the footboard of a vehicle last evening to acknowledge the crowd gathered here. A common practice amongst politicians when the car is moving slowly. At that time, the crowd surged around the vehicle, and that's when the doors slammed on her. The Trinamool Congress says the crowd surge and the resultant slamming of the doors was a premeditated conspiracy to hurt her.
While some eyewitnesses agree, some say the incident was a result of poor crowd management. Krishna Jana, a Trinamool supporter, was present. He says the door was half open and the Chief Minister was surrounded by her personal security while acknowledging the crowd from the footboard.
সম্ভব নয় দেখুন তো এত ভিড় ছিল তো কে কাকে যে ঠেলছে তার মধ্যে আমাদের কেন মনে হয়েছে কয়েকজন বিরোধী দলের এখানে ছিল উপস্থিত সেই থেকে আমরা এটা সন্দেহ করেছি ঠিক আছে তো আমরা ওই ঘটনার ভিড়ের মধ্যে আমাদেরও এমনকি ধাক্কা দেওয়া হয়েছিল
The BJP and the Congress were quick to call it a political stunt. BJP later claimed it was an accident caused by this pole in the middle of the road.
উনি দরজা খুলেছে উনি বেরিয়েছেন এটা ধাক্কা নয় ওনার গাড়িতে ওরে উঠতে গিয়ে যদি লেগে থাকে সেটা আংশিক লেগেছে বাকিটার কোনো ভিত্তি নেই বলে আমি মনে করি
What caused Mamata Banerjee's serious injuries? Was it this pole as the BJP initially claimed? Or was it the crowd surging around the front of her car leading to the doors being slammed on her hips and waist as she stood on the footboard to acknowledge the crowd? Only a probe will establish exactly what happened, but the ugly political back and forth since the incident is vitiating the political atmosphere in Bengal further. In Nandigram, with Monideepa Banerjee and camera person Habib Ali, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
All right, now let's shift focus to COVID. Maharashtra has reported over 14,000 cases in the last 24 hours. Mumbai cases have crossed the 1,500 mark. The Union Health Ministry has said that it is very worried about the state of Maharashtra. The Chief Minister has also issued a warning that lockdowns could come back.
Very worried about Maharashtra. Across several districts of Maharashtra, you saw their names. We learned that there is a strict lockdown being imposed in Nagpur in particular. So we are reaching a situation where those approaches are being brought back. It's a very serious matter.
After Maharashtra topped the chart in rising COVID cases with over 13,000 cases in last 24 hours, a stern warning from the CM.
काही ठिकाणी नाईलाजाने कडक लॉकडाऊन येत्या 1-2 दिवसामध्ये आम्ही निर्णय घेतो आहोत आणि जिथे आवश्यकता वाटत असेल तिकडे कडक लॉकडाऊन करावं लागेल.
This after a 1-week lockdown starting March 15 was announced in Nagpur, which saw a rise of nearly 1,800 cases in last 24 hours.
मैं पिछले वक्त कहा था कि लोगों ने खुद का स्वास्थ्य अच्छा रखने के लिए खुद पर ध्यान केंद्रित करना चाहिए और मुझ पर ऐसी कोई आपत्ति ना लाई जाए कि मैं शहर में लॉकडाउन कर सकूं, लेकिन कल की स्थिति न देखने के बाद आज मुझे यह कठोर निर्णय लेना पड़ रहा है.
Maharashtra continues to see a surge in cases. Mumbai recorded over 1,500 cases, highest single-day jump in last 5 months. However, civic body BMC ruled out an immediate lockdown, but stricter measures like night curfew, micro-containment strategy might be on the cards. In last 7 days, state added over 70,000 cases with an average of 10,000 daily cases. Pune, which is under night curfew till March 14, added between 1500 to 1800 cases daily. Thane is adding nearly 300 cases every day despite lockdown in containment zones. Ahmednagar, with over 250 cases daily, has night curfew in place. Aurangabad, Jalgaon are adding over 500 cases daily. Nashik added over 1,000 cases daily. State government has asked people to follow strict protocols, but despite the number of warnings, laxity from people and some from health officials have put the state at the threshold of another lockdown. With Vinay Shukla in Nagpur and camera person Sanjay Mandal in Mumbai, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.
Meanwhile, Karnataka has recorded its first case of the South African variant of coronavirus. Karnataka is in the top 5 states when it comes to new cases, with over 700 recorded in the last 24 hours and over 7,000 active cases. Maya Sharma reports.
Karnataka has recorded its first positive case of the South Africa variant of the COVID-19 virus. This is in addition to 29 cases of the UK variant. This comes in the backdrop of a rising number of cases in the state. The numbers are still a fraction of the over 1 lakh active cases and 10,000 new cases a day recorded at the peak last year. But it is still a matter of concern. Karnataka is in the top 5 states when it comes to new daily cases, with over 700 recorded in the last 24 hours data and over 7,000 active cases. A week earlier, the new daily cases numbered less than 600 and there were just over 6,000 active cases.
We have taken enough and precautionary measures in Karnataka to ensure that there is not much spread of this second wave, what is called a second wave. At the same time, we are concentrating more on increasing the inoculation also. So about 3,500 vaccination facilities also have been created.
The state is watching its neighbours closely.
I am definitely concerned with what is happening in Maharashtra, Kerala and Tamil Nadu as a health minister. But as of now, we are still not refrained or we have restrained the inter-border movement. But I am keenly watching the developments in these states. We have never restricted the movement between Kerala and Karnataka or Maharashtra, Karnataka. We have never done that. All that we have done is we have ensured that we see RT-PCR negative certificate from the people who are travelling from these states, because there is a spike in these states, so we can't afford to again go back to our same condition in Karnataka. We have maintained very well in Karnataka, so we want to continue the good practice.
Recent clusters of positive cases in apartments, in addition to the rising numbers, have been a reminder that there is absolutely no room for complacency. With Govind Murthy, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Denmark, Norway and Iceland on Thursday temporarily suspended the use of AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine over concerns about patients developing post-jab blood clots. Denmark was the first to announce its suspension of all its AstraZeneca supply, followed by Iceland and Norway. Meanwhile, EU's medicines regulator has said that AstraZeneca COVID vaccine use can continue pending the blood clot probe. Welcome back. After PC Chako's resignation from the Congress, allegations of factionalism within the party in Kerala have come to the fore. That too just before the elections. How is it going to impact the party and are they doing anything about it? Sneha Koshi reports.
Weeks after Rahul Gandhi's campaign in poll-bound Kerala, serious allegations of factionalism against the Congress in the state just ahead of assembly elections. Allegations of groupism against former Chief Minister Oman Chandi and opposition leader Ramesh Chennithala again out in the open as former Thrissur MP PC Chako quits the party.
Congress party in Kerala is working as two separate parties, not one party. One is A group, one is I group.
According to sources, at least 4 Congress MPs, K. Sudhakaran, K. Muralidharan, M. K. Raghavan, T. N. Prathapan, are upset, even raising concerns before the High Command against the unilateral decisions on candidates to be fielded, decided by the election committee steered by Oommen Chandy and Ramesh Chennithala, among others.
No infighting, because Congress nowadays it is more unity is there. Yesterday there was a meeting. We all discussed and we already expressed our views on the candidacy also. I don't know what is the reason why Chako quit the party, but it is very unfortunate.
But this is not the first time allegations of groupism have been raised.
No discontentment in the party. UDF is united. Congress party in Kerala is united. That is an old story. We had discussed with all the MPs. We had discussed with all important leaders.
These coming elections in Kerala are very crucial for the Congress, which cannot afford another loss, especially from a state which has elected Rahul Gandhi. Reactions from party supporters have been mixed.
Group system is our party in the Madhyakunam. എന്നാൽ ഈ നമ്മുടെ പാർട്ടി രക്ഷപ്പെട്ടു പോകുന്നുള്ള ഒരു വിശ്വാസക്കാരനാണ് ഞാൻ.
ശ്രീ രമേശ് ചെന്നിത്തലയും ഉമ്മൻചാണ്ടിയും കോൺഗ്രസിന്റെ അന്തിമ വാക്കുകളാണെന്നുള്ളതിന് സംശയം എന്താണ്? പക്ഷെ അവർ തമ്മിൽ പ്രശ്നമുണ്ടോ എന്നാണ് നോക്കേണ്ടത്. ഇപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ കാര്യത്തിലും അവർ യോജിച്ച് നീങ്ങുന്ന ഒരു സമീപനം നമ്മൾ കാണുന്നു.
With Sunil Prabhu in Delhi, Sneha Koshi from Thiruvananthapuram for NDTV.
After a no-confidence motion against the BJP-led Haryana government was defeated, ruling party MLAs have begun to face farmers' fury. A protest broke out outside one such legislator's residence while an independent too bore the brunt. Farmers on Thursday protested outside the Ambala residence of local MLA Aseem Goyal. A video has also surfaced meanwhile of a protest outside the home of independent Sirsa MLA Gopal Goyal Kanda, who heads the Haryana Lok Hit party and voted for the government. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has predicted that India's GDP growth will be fastest in the world. Indian economy will be bouncing back to grow at 12.6% in financial year 2022. India's GDP growth to be highest among G20 countries. That's what the OECD has said, increasing India's growth estimate for financial year 22. Well, that's a wrap on this bulletin. From the entire team, thanks for watching. Goodbye.